go. Haec profatus. These things having been said, versum again, with tears arising, lacrimis abortis. And in preces and in prayers, I have porrectus manibus, my hands outstretched, per publicam misericordiam, for public pity, and per pignorum caritate, and through the dearness of their pignorums, which are sometimes pledges. Here it is children. So maestus, he is very sad when he's doing this, and tunc. Then hos tunc. So this hos would be per publicam misericordiam, and then the illos would be to this other group. So de precabar. This is a way of praying. He's already mentioned prayers in the noun form there. So tunc means he's going towards the public with his first plea, and then tunc to this other group for the dearness of their children. It's probably the people who lived in the house who he saved them from these three intruders. Cum iam, and when now already con motus, in the accusative, by the humanitate misericordiae. So this whole sentence will be ending with credum here, this first bit. So when I believe satisfactorily that omnes, all of them, were moved, cum motus, with this pity, you might want to say, and affected of these tears of the fletums. Solus and justitia, these are genitives. Testatus, oculos, this is sometimes singular. In this book it's plural. Basically, so we've got a verb here, commending. So I was commending my present castle, my present situation, to the providence of the gods, with the eye of the sun and of justice as the witness, testotus as the witnesses. And then Paulo, a little, altius, comparative higher, a little higher, I've lifted my aspectu, his gaze, and conspicio. And I saw, prosum usually means absolutely or forward, so it looks like absolutely the whole populum, the whole people of this who were gathered here, in risu, in laughter, cachinabili, this is like cackling, another form of laughter, defluorbanting, so they were all flowing with laughter and cackling and cheering, etc. And the next secus, neither differently, was illum bonum hospitum, was his good host and parent, we'll call him uncle here, Milo. He was dissolutum, so he was all dissolved in maximum laughter as well, risu maximo. Tunc. But then, Tacitus, silently, me cum with myself, I inquamed, I said, sic thus, behold, this is the loyalty and fides, and this is the conscientia, however you want to call that in English. I quidem indeed, pro saluti, for the safety of my host, my hospite. I've also become a homicidal maniac, and a reus, and someone accused. In Duco, I've been led in as the accused of a capital crime, but he, non-content, mihi neced sisis, he's not standing nearby, he's not actually being my advocate in this case. He's not giving me any solace in this situation, and in super, and above all that, he is cachinating, he's laughing at my exodum, at my destruction or my end. 8. Into haec. Into these things, amongst all these things happening, a quaedam mulia, a certain woman through the middle of the theatre, lacrimosa, tearful and phlebolous and weeping, contected, covered up with black vest, black clothing, and with a parvulum quendem, with a certain young one in her sinu, in her lap or at her breast. She was tolerant, she was bearing, she decorated in, she ran into haec while these things were happening. And pone em, and behind her was anus, which is an old woman, another old woman. She was obscena, she was covered in penis horridus, horrid-looking rags, and maesta, she was gloomy and sad, and paribus fletibus, and she was equally weeping. Ramos oleaginos, so these are olive branches, utrique, so each of the two were quatyings them, present participle, they were shaking branches, olive branches, and which circumfusa the lectum, and so around the bier where the corpses were being burnt, quo, in which the cadavers of the peremptum of the dead contectifuerent, they covered over these and circumfused over them. So these women threw themselves on the bier basically and surrounded it, and sub lato plango, with a big plangor and wailing, lugubritia, that's the adverb, very mournfully say themselves, and they were eulanting, they were another present participle, they were howling. And here's the quote of what they said. Per public misericordiam, have public pity. So we've had Lucius has asked pity for himself, now the widow's asking for the public pity, and the commune jus, and the common justice of humanitas. They were aeunting, they were saying. Miserame, this would be the plural imperative. So pity, have pity of the slain youths who have been indignantly they've been slaughtered, and of us viduati, we are widows, and date, that's the plural imperative, and give de vindicta, some solace for, or basically they want some avengement, basically. So now they're widows and they're in solitude because they're alone because their husbands are dead, and they want pity for themselves and to be given a solace for this crime. Okay, so indigni is a adverb that has comparative and superlative. Outrageously, shamefully, etc., undeservedly, they'd been killed. Back to the plot. Certainly, huius parvuli, of this little one, in the prime of his life, in primus annus, who was destitute, without a father now, destitute of his fortune, succurite, that's another imperative, so give succor or help to this little one. And de latronus huis, and of this bandit, de sanguine, got a double genitive splitting it, and containing the blood of this bandit, vestris legis, by your laws and discipline, litate, so make amends, looks like with the blood of this bandit, according to the laws and public discipline, or public teachings, or however you want to describe that. Post hac, after these things, the magistratus, who nodded the most, I don't think that's supposed to be nutu, it's probably natu, who was mayor by birth, who was older by birth, he had surgit, he got up, and tali, and such things to the people. He's about to inquit. Concerning the scellerae quidem, this indeed concerning this crime, or the crime itself, which is serious, and must be vindicadum, must be avenged. Neither himself, the one who committed it, he's not even potest, he's not even able to confess differently or deny it. Sed una tantum subscivia solitudo nobis relicta est. So there's one thing left. There's una means one, left for us. Tandem means merely or only. There's only one thing, subsciva, it's an adjective for left over. So basically said relicta est in the verb form and in the adjective form. One solitudo or solicitudo, there's one thing left that they need to find out. Ut ceteros socius. The rest of his sociis, the rest of his allies or confederates requirements. We require of such a crime. So they mustn't think that he could have killed 3 people by himself. There are other people involved. Nec, enim. Anim's 4. 4 is not very simulus. It's not very like the truth. that a solitary hominem, one man by himself, tam so validos, so strong, a tres juvenes, a three young men so strong, to have evitaseid. And now, evito usually means to shun, but if you take evito as taking away life, vita is life, and you take that away from it, we mean kill them. Pro hinc, some adverb. From here on in, or what must be done next, veritas, which is the truth, must be erunded, must be forced out, you might want to say, by torment, by torture. And for also, he, qui, who comitabator him, he who accompanied him, a boy, or a slave, they call boys slave, clanculo, secretly, another adverb, he is profugated, he's fled, and the matter is deductus, has led ad hoc to this, so that through an inquisition, the particips of this sceleris, the people who participated or were involved in this sceleris, this crime, must be brought in for questioning, so that, here's Tam again, such formity, such a dread of a dire faction of, they're not really a faction, there's just two of them, but of this group, fundatus, to the core, to the foundations, it must be pressed out, prematured. And that's it for the day.